Love is something that all humans want, but nobody seems to know how to keep. So tell me what's up. Let's be real.
What yonder light through my window breaks as I contemplate the fates and whatever it takes to hear the things that you're telling me. Every word like a spelling bee, navigate like Magellan bee. Do you see me? Cause baby, I see you. And even through this rough patch of time we go through, it's me and you and me, with the whole world to see. 2 million places to be, our faces on the CD. And if you ask me, I think you deserve the fantastic riches of antiquity. Wow, all these bitches be angry at me for being with you see. But I respect that and bet that you won't forget that. Wherever I'm at, I'll be right back. And soon we'll be together and we will make it last forever. Like a Jodeci song back in the day. But we gotta know how we I think that has to be a way.
Understand nothing I say.
What if we both start today?
We may find a way to love and pray.
I think we both should keep it real.
Serious, nothing that love us feel.
I'll be just to be my earth.
It's worth to a dynasty for real.
So tell me what your heart is worth.
La 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 la.
So tell me what your heart is worth.
La 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 la.
Laying is paying for these satin sheets we laying in. Never have to wait again. No matter where we getting in. Designer clothes we fitting in. Limousines we getting in. Private planes we getting out. Remembering without. With no couch, no life, no heat, no hot water. Yeah, them times was hard, but yet it's still my daughter. She saw us loving each other no matter what the weather. We riding through this life forever together. Your heart is worth more to me than I could see. Spell L-O-V without the E, cause you can't end a word that's a stripe or 3. I mean you plus me plus baby me 3. I'm talking about real black love during World War III and into World War IV. I think that has to be your way.
Understand nothing I say.
What if we both start today?
We may find a way to love and pray.
I think we both should keep it real.
Serious, nothing that love us feel.
I'll be the strength to be my earth.
It's worth to a dynasty for real.
So tell me what your heart is worth.
La 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 la.
So tell me what your heart is worth.
La 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 la.
I often dream of a world of happiness, but everything is such a goddamn mess. And when I try to go to sleep, I just can't rest. Cause it's your love that helps me pass the test. Your heart is worth more.
In other words, we will survive, we will stay alive, and our children will
I
thrive.
said your heart is worth more.
When I look deep into your eyes, it's so I realize from ancient times.
What's up? You are now tuned in live to Super Heru Radio. I'm your host, Aseer the Duke. I'm here with my brother, Saga Ali. What's up, homie? Peace, family. Alright, the song you just heard was What Your Heart Is Worth, written and arranged by myself, produced by a lovely sister named Top Phoenix. What is this, Monday?
Yes, sir.
Yep, you know, another Monday, another moon day.
Yeah.
So we're here. Oh, real quick, I want to give a birthday shout out to my son, Aries Aseer Ali Allah. He just turned 13 yesterday. On the 28th. I love you, son. And here we are, man, once again. Thank you all the listeners and supporters who've been listening in and riding with us, you know, despite all the, you know, technical hate that we've been getting, right?
Yeah. Sure indeed.
You know?
No, but they can't stop it, you know what I mean? They can't stop us, you know, regardless of what
Word.
they try to do. You know, just like all
Word.
the listeners and everybody else out there. But it's not happening. It's not going down. That time has passed. You know what I mean?
When you do this type of work, meaning the work of not necessarily following the path that most people are on, man, a lot of us can feel that we're very lonely on that path, but in actuality, we're not only accompanied by, you know, the Most High in our endeavors, we're also accompanied by the road, man. And the road on the path to ascendancy is wrought with mad distraction. So anytime you say in your life out loud to the powers that be or universe that you don't want to be involved with certain things, you want a certain degree of clarity, then you got to know that everything nebulous and unclear is going to come in your face to test that resolve to see how real you are with that shit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. So much this week, man. So much. You know, I don't even know where to start. You want to start it off on?
Okay, I'm pretty sure, you know, you heard about the whole thing with the Tea Party, you know, going in. You know, they not feeling this death care at all. But as you can see, they mobilizing, they trying to get it popping. You know what I mean? Anthrax is back.
Yup, they put Anthrax back. They got a new Osama tape. They got a new DVD on 125th of Osama, yo.
You know what I mean? Everything is coming back out the woodwork.
Yeah, dude, they trying to put you back.
Anthrax is back.
Quick. Word. Then they had a militia, son. They had a militia where they arrested 9 of these white boys and white women that was ready to go in on some Terminator shit on the precinct in they hood in Detroit. They was ready to blow the precinct up, son. They got 9 and they all white folk. So again, man, you know, you got to be aware that you are now in the midst or the the growing pains of the Second Civil War. That's already started. The first shot was fired again when that dude slammed his plane into the IRS building, you know, and, you know, there's so much behind that. Then the second shot was when they, it'll come back to me. They did something else. Oh, yeah, that, and then when they, with your man Timmy Geithner, yo, your man Timmy, that nigga still got the low jack on. His hearing before the international court is supposed to be coming up soon, and so don't be surprised if, you know, he got an accident on the way to the plane, or no, it's because there's too many other people involved with this. You know what I'm saying? So somebody got to be the fall guy. So I think that's your man Timmy, because you know your man Illuminati Ram is not going to take the fall for that. Nah. So people don't know who that is. That's Rahm Emanuel. You know, that's the other thing I find it real funny. As much as the original people was up in arms and so happy that Barack was coming in or whatever, and then when people like me would say, well, yeah, but if he's talking about change, how come everybody in his cabinet is from the last 5 cabinets before him? You know what I'm saying? They don't say nothing. So a lot of people don't know who Timothy Geithner is or his connection with Obama or anything else. So people should really do the knowledge to that, because this is the guy, when you do your chargeback stuff with those people who are involved with charging things back to the government in terms of the acceptance for value, the A for V's as they call. He's the guy that's supposed to be writing all that stuff off, so you might want to be careful what you send this nigga, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to validating and canceling your debt, because he don't seem like the most trustworthy Secretary of Treasury. You know, so, you know, that's the other thing. Also, I want to give a shout-out to a sister. I wanted to tell you this too, homie. A sister and her mate, sister named is Sean Tribble. And, man, yo, they was listening to the show. They said, and they hold everything went black on their stuff, on their site. You know what I'm saying? Except the show, except our show. You know what I'm saying? So I find that's real funny. Because remember the first time we did this show and they tried to cut it off, everybody in the chat room was like, yo, let's all meditate, bring us back on the air, remember?
Yes, sir.
So I think this is when that was going on, you know. So it shows you that positive vibes can definitely override the most obstinate of machinery, you know. So big up to them, Iron Queen, you know.
Big up.
There was some other stuff that was going on in the news that I did the knowledge to. In comic book news, Action Comics #1 sold for $1.5 million to some unknown collector, you know. And this dude paid up $1.5 million for it, so basically that's 6. And that's all in tune because that S on that Superman chest, that stands for 6, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know how important Superman is to the Nazi Party because that was that was Hitler's whole shtick, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to create these Supermen and whatever. But again, when you really do the knowledge, those people who haven't seen the DVDs I did, The Science of Superheroes 1, 2, and 3, you will really do the knowledge that that the whole Superman story is about the Moors, you know. Came from a planet with a red sun, you know what I'm saying? They all practice crystal technology. His last name is L, you know. Yeah, you know, he harnesses power from the yellow sun, you know. He flies, you know, he got heat vision, which means he's got heavy melanin in the retina. You know, so again, all of these stories that you've ever seen is always about original people, but it seems like nowadays original people don't care about any of that shit, so I guess we should move on. In entertainment news, I thought it was some real ill shit. And I don't know if anybody's seen the new Erykah Badu video. Did you see that, dude?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
Okay. First of all, let's talk about the album cover, because sources close to her. Yeah, it's called Return of the Ankh, and those people who haven't seen the album cover, you'll see that she's a robot.
Mm-hmm.
And in the top of her crown chakra, she's basically, all the vegetation is outside of her, this robotic body of hers. And then she's got the real self of her watering a tree that's growing out of the top of her head.
Mm-hmm.
Now, anytime you see a female dressed in all metal like that, that is what's called the Metropolis ritual. The Metropolis ritual goes back to an earlier ritual called the Ritual of the Golem, Golem. If you get the movie Metropolis, you'll see what I'm talking about. They got dudes on the internet now, YouTube or whatever, that have laid out what the whole Metropolis ritual and everything is about. Essentially, in layman's terms, what it's about is about incarnating the harlot of Babylon, right? So anytime you see a woman with metal on in the video or some shit like that, you still there, homie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anytime you see a person on a video like that, woman dressed up like a robot, remember the goal is to make robots seem more human and humans seem more like robots. Yeah. So that's one thing. The second thing about that whole thing is it's called Return of the Ankh, but then the ankhs that are on the robot's chest, there's 2 on the sides where the breast would be, but then in the middle there's a big symbol. Now, from what I understand, she thinks that that's a symbol for alchemy. Well, whoever told her that is bullshitting her, and she needs to holler at the homies with the real knowledge, because that's not what that's about. You know what I mean? If you listen to Erykah, if you listen to anybody that know her, you know, if you're going to be if you're going to use symbols, know what they mean. You know what I'm saying? That symbol in the middle of her chest, that's a Royal Ark symbol for the Mark Master or the Royal Ark degree in Freemasonry. That's the degree that you go through when you are basically going through what they call perfecting oneself to become a most worshipful master. So because that's in the middle of her chest, you'll know it because the symbol is a circle with a pyramid inside of it, and it's got what they call a Tau cross in it. That's a 3-sided cross, right? So 32nd degree Masons, when they're trying to beat down and get their little fake degrees and shit, that's what they got to do. They got to pledge, and essentially they got to kill themselves. So in the video, for those that people don't see it, she said the video was inspired by this group called Matt and Kim. Matt and Kim, if you look at their stuff, these are straight up Monarch kids who decided that they was going to be musicians, you know what I'm saying, and basically put all of their Monarch shit into the music.
Are these the people that got naked in Times Square?
Yeah, the one that got naked at Times Square, and then she walks into the street and gets hit by the bus.
Okay.
Right. The two Caucasian guys. And they're talented, you know what I mean? Some of the music is cool, but on the underlying tip, they're very programmed people, you understand? And they program them with what they call a naked gun altar, which is where they always want you to get you to take your clothes off and shit, where it's like the clothes actually still like constricting on you, so you always got to be naked, you see? This is a way to keep the person always in a state of openness, what they call open happiness, wink, wink, which is a mind control term. Anyway, in the Erica video, she basically disrobes and takes off all of her clothes and everything. You know what I'm saying? But that's not the crazy part. The crazy part is that the video actually takes place. This is how you know it's a ritual. The video takes place in Dealey Plaza.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Where they shot your man Johnny K. You know what I mean? All those many years ago. And in the video, she takes a shot in the head. But the funny thing is when she falls to the ground, the blood that she bleeds is blue. Okay? Which means that, see, what, you saying you a blue blood, which means that you you Illuminati sanctified, what, Satan's your father? Like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Because when I see blue blood, I know what that means. That means you got a higher copper concentrate in your blood, and your iron is fucked up, which means that 10 times to 1, you got some type of demonic entity in you that's sucking up the magnesium in your blood, you see what I'm saying? That makes it more copper-rich, so that way when the air hits it, it turns blue. That is where the term blue blood comes from because, again, you're talking about an alien blood that has an oversaturation of ribonucleic acid in it. But the blood, when it comes out of her head, because she gets a headshot, like your man, it spells out the letter GAPS, G-A-P-X. Okay? So, so I started doing it now. It's the GAPS. Okay, well, maybe this is an entity. Maybe, you know how they do. And I found some interesting stuff on that, but I ain't gonna build on it tonight. I'm gonna show and prove that on May 1st, May 2nd, when we do the thing in New York. But I'm saying all that to say too that these so-called conscious artists, these so-called spiritual artists, these so-called metaphysical, I don't know what you want to call these people, artists, yo. These niggas don't know what the hell they doing, yo. They don't know how they're being used. Or maybe they do. You see, maybe she does understand the symbolism in that. But just for the fact that she had to disrobe and be totally naked to get killed, you understand what I'm saying? That's again, a 32nd degree ritual. That's the same way Jay-Z killed himself in his video. That's the same way Lil Wayne killed himself in his video. That's the same way Nas killed himself in his video. You know what I'm saying? All these niggas killing themselves in the same way Beyonce and Jay-Z killed Beyonce in the Crazy in Love video. And then Beyonce, and then what? Sasha Fierce kills Beyonce in the Diva video. See what I'm saying? It's like all this murder in this music, But the ill shit is that the whiteys got a problem with the fact that she got naked.
Really?
Yeah, the white people got a problem. They said, oh, she didn't have to get naked like that. Now, she got a real, her body is, is tight.
Mm-hmm.
But, again, for them to have a problem with this black woman disrobing herself, right? I mean, that really, my problem really wasn't the nakedness, actually. My problem was the actual ritual, in general, you dig? But we are in what we call a postmodern world, or in music, what is it, the post-God. So y'all niggas gonna have a problem with this black woman getting naked, but Gaga can put police yellow tape on her vagina, and you know what I'm saying? And Beyonce can kill all of these people in the diner and shit. Every time Gaga do a video, she's killing somebody and poisoning them. But that ain't a problem. See? But again, word to the wise, Erica, or anybody listening that know her or whatever, yo, really watch what you're doing, man. You really are on a slippery slope. You already from Texas. You already putting yourself in a ritual with this John F. Kennedy assassination shit. You know what I mean? Then at the end of the video, she comes out wearing these Rick James braids. Like, what are you doing, shorty? Like, this is how she reemerged. The same way when Beyonce got blown up in the car, Sasha Fierce came out from the other side, showing you that she's a different person. See? So, really be careful. Ignorance of the law is no excuse, man. And you dealing with straight demonic people that are ready for some type of sacrifice. Because ain't nobody get killed in rap in a minute. So, look out.
Yeah. Freaky Top passed away a couple of days ago, wasn't it? Like yesterday or the day before. That was when they found Freaky Top dead.
Oh, say it again. I'm sorry, you sound a little
Freaky Top.
Hello? Word?
Yeah, remember Freaky Top died like on the 27th or the 28th of March.
Yeah, that's right.
They just found his body, and they never solved his murder. They just found him shot up on the road.
Nah, if you're a rapper, you better not get killed, because ain't nobody ever going to find out what happened to you. But if you're a rapper and you got a gun, they'll find you. You see what I'm saying? They can find you when you the perp. But if you're a rapper, you better get some type of insurance or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and make sure you got, private investigators or something. Because if niggas clap you, they're never going to find out what happened to you. That's how you know the government is doing clapping all these people.
Yeah.
Of course, it's involved.
Did you see the joint with Rihanna dancing with the robot?
Where the robot peed on him? It peed on him. It peed on him in the end. Basically, it came in her face. Did you see it?
You know what I'm saying?
It's horrible. It's sick, man. Then they got the Nickelodeon Award, the Kids' Choice Award. Now, the thing about people should know about the word Nickelodeon, it's actually two words. It's actually three words. It's Nick, L, and Odeon. Nick, is short for, people say Nicholas, but it's actually a more drawn-out word. It's really another way of saying Mephistopheles. It's actually Nicostophles, you know what I'm saying? But it's a way of saying the devil. Then L, that's Elohim, that's the Moors. And then Odeon, or Odin, right, comes from an earlier god called Wotan, which is always depicted as a jet black man, who is the ceremonial Odin in Norse mythology. So I find it funny, again, this is a channel for children. You know what I'm saying? And what do? They baptize all the children in the green ooze that is actually symbolic of ectoplasm. We all know that ectoplasm is the vestigial matter left over from physical and non-physical entities that incarnate through the ethers into this so-called reality. So in a sense, Nickelodeon and shows like that and all that stuff is just, mass satanic worship. Just like everything they do, like Dancing with the Stars. People don't realize that since Dancing with the Stars started, over 150 people have been injured on that show, like seriously injured. Like there's a curse on that show. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas be going on and getting hurt up, yo.
Yeah, bad. Breaking bones and all that.
Bad. Breaking bones, breaking their spines. One person had broke their collarbone. Like, come on, man. Concussions. But this is also part of this whole cross-marketing reality thing that they're doing with all of these different celebrity personalities trying to, invaginate themselves into another reality. Speaking of, what was you going to say?
No, I was going to say, with homie Jamie Foxx now, as people started blasting him with what he said about Precious, now he going at Howard Stern and Robin, saying they should have never said nothing. Saying Robin, she got molested by her pops.
Yeah, then he said, well, yeah, but that's messed up. But people not looking at the bright side. Like, at least she felt good when her father left the room with a smile on his face. Like, oh, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, Jamie. But then again, part of me is like, I don't even care, though, because, for all we know, this is a ratings thing to get them all hot. Because from what I'm hearing, Howard Stern is going to have to go back to regular radio, and Jamie is trying to get Howard Stern's spot. Yeah. Also, Jamie got a whole big thing with the alcohol companies. People don't really do the knowledge that all of his shit is sponsored by alcohol. Yeah. Coors, Budweiser, Nuvo, Grey Goose, like this nigga goes in. That's why, again, blaming on the alcohol, it was genius, because he was able to cross-market all of the brands that he endorses in one song.
Get paid two ways, hand over fist.
Yeah. Speaking of dumbing out, the man Michael Steele, who is the black head of the Republican Party, is in big trouble because it seems that he spent at least $200,000 of the GOP's money on bondage clubs and lesbian fetish clubs in the Washington D.C. area. People got to do the knowledge, man. People got to do the knowledge, yo. These people that you see on TV as your political officials are the worst scum of the earth. I'm telling you.
The lowest of the low.
United States of America has not had a lawful public servant in office since 1791. You understand? Everybody that came in after the Continental Congress seceded for that last session has been an imposter and has been what they would call a partisan follower, meaning that, there's a two-party system. But in the beginning, around George Washington time, there was actually maybe 150 different political parties that all vied for the presidency. It wasn't until the republic was overthrown and the democracy was set up. Again, democracy means demonocracy, right? Also, it means demonstrative government. For them to set up this whole federal aspect of it, that was originally supposed to just be for them, but, we fell victim to it. And here we are. So I wasn't surprised when this thing came out on Michael Steele. It's just real funny that this is going on now at the same time that your man Barry just really went hard for this death care bill.
And then bounced right after it was passed. Like, let me get out of here real quick.
And then bounced out the country, just like Bush. Just like Bush did. When he got the election, nigga, he bounced for like 4 months. You know what I'm saying? Just like when Clinton came in office, Sean Foster was going to blow it up. Sean Foster wound up dead. Billy Clinton wound up in Africa somewhere. You know what I mean? While the whole investigation was going on. Then when they closed the investigation, the nigga come back to America. But anybody can get the movie Wag the Dog and see how these people do. You know what I'm saying? But wow, as I'm talking to you, the Erykah Badu thing is on right now. It's deep, yo. It's deep. Then I'm reading the Twitter on that. She read the Twitter on that. She said she asked all her baby fathers like if she should do it or not. I'm like, them niggas is fucking crazy.
It's nothing they never seen before. Now for the world to see it, it's totally different.
You know what I mean?
And we're you know what I mean? Is she gonna put out the unedited version of that where nothing is blurted out and all that? Like,
oh yeah, they gotta find that. Matter of fact, I'm surprised that they ain't got the uncut version yet. Somebody gonna leak that.
Yeah, like this is
like it's all good when you know it's gonna get blurred. But when you start seeing that shit pop up on the internet, and you start seeing your ass that's all up there like that, I really hope that you got the stamina to really deal with that.
Yeah.
Because see, the other aspect of this game that you're dealing with these people in this so-called satanic exploitation business is that the more you show them that you are willing to go all out, the more they're going to feel like they need to take you out.
Mm-hmm.
The more that you show that you are willing to just not keep anything sacred to yourself,
mm-hmm.
like your body, your vagina, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Anything like that, then what happens is it lets them know that you, again, are in a situation where you really don't understand who and what you are. You understand? Because they know original black, they know Jill Scott ain't doing that.
Exactly.
You know why? Because Jill Scott ain't got to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're coming out against her. They're trying to call her a racist because she basically said that every time she see a black man with a white woman, she feels kind of way about that shit.
Yeah. It's only when all people say things like that it's a problem.
You see? I'm waiting to see which house nigga is gonna come out and try to get props by dissing her, yeah. Because they'll do that. They'll do that sometimes and be like,
somebody, you know what I'm saying? Burnt out, boule, you know what I mean? Mind control sucker to come out and say, it's something wrong with that statement. Where number one, it shouldn't be anything wrong with that statement because that's how she feels and she should be able to express that. But number two, it's only when we say things like that it's a problem. The Tea Party don't got no other races in it, no other species of people in it. The Tea Party, you know what I mean? They don't got other people. There's only white people in that. You know what I'm saying? Clarence Thomas' wife is in that. You know what I mean? The Minutemen who are on the borders right now in Canada, well, not even Canada, really only in Mexico. The Minutemen on the borders at Mexico, they don't got no other people in that. They don't got no original people in that. But that's no problem. You know what I mean? But if I come out and I say, I'm this, you know what I mean, or this is for my people, and we just want it to just be us, everybody got a problem. You know what I mean? That's why you got, white rosters.
Everybody got an issue. Everybody got to be like, oh, you can't say that. Y'all
can't be exclusive. Y'all got to be inclusive, but we could be exclusive whatever we do. Yeah, that's that bullshit.
And that's racist.
But then our people allow it.
That's racist. Right, and that's racist. But because the Talented 10 and those house niggas that's in the game right now are, in the bed with these dudes, they know if they say anything out of the contrary of whatever, they getting taken out. White boys don't think like that. White boys don't realize that they're about to get taken out until they on the podium, John F. Kennedy, and be like, oh shit, and then it's a wrap. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because of most of the times, Caucasian dudes, that's like when Asher Roth came out and said, it's really funny how all of these rappers they don't really think and do nothing for African people.
Mm-hmm.
Remember he said that?
Yeah.
And right after that, he came out and said he was gay.
Yeah.
Right? Then he came out and said he was gay. Then you didn't hear nothing else after that.
Yeah, he was off the map for a minute. But nobody can come out and ask him why he ain't talking about increasing Israeli-Palestinian relations. He a Jew.
Exactly. He's a Rothschild.
Exactly. He's a Rothschild. Right? You know what I mean? He commenting on Africa. What about what's going on with your people? He ain't talking about stopping that.
Nah.
He ain't talking about stopping the colonization that's going on in Israel either.
Nah. Because again, the Israeli people that they're killing over there, the Palestinian people they're killing over there is black people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. On American TV, y'all need to stop watching that shit. Start watching BBC. Start watching the news through the net, man. Because you got to see the people that these people are bombing. They always be dark black people.
Yeah.
But again, because you just see a bunch of so-called looking Arab people on the thing, you think, you disconnected. It's the same shit they do here. The pigs shot 42 shots into this car to kill this carjacker and wound up shooting the little boy. Shot the little boy in the arm, son. They emptied 42 clips, 42 rounds. So what? 16 shots in a 9, right? 16 shots in a 9. So that's, and this is 2 different cops. So in the end, the car is riddled with bullets. These niggas go in the shit and be like, oh shit, there's a little baby in here.
They gave Amadou 41. They gave this dude 42.
Yep. They had another instance where they found another little black boy. Little black boy ripped some of his locks out of his hair and shit.
Yeah, beat him up, beat him down.
Yeah, but the pigs are suspended without pay. See, the thing with us as original people too, what we don't have no more, and this is all goes back to kind of what happened after Black Wall Street and all of that. We don't have no mob. There's no black mob no more, man.
Yeah. All
the black mobsters that niggas that we used to have, because see, people don't understand what criminality does for society. People don't understand that crime in America makes up 14 to 24% of the gross national product. The economy. So that means when crime is down, the economy is down. You understand what I'm saying? So that means that they need to have a situation where when nobody's getting arrested, the government stops. People don't understand that. People don't understand that there is that the courts that you or we wind up in are not courts at all. You want to see a real court? Go to the Supreme Court in Washington. Them niggas bring you tea. Them niggas bring you coffee, cakes and shit. They take you for a tour of the thing while you're waiting for your hearing. Like, it's a whole nother thing. You see what I'm saying? But again, because these blacks go through things like when I was studying to get my PhD in jurisprudence, right? For those people who don't know, that's positive law. In studying to do all of that, I used the actual processes that I was going through in court, family court specifically, as the grounds of my thesis. And my thesis was, American society is doomed for destruction based on the incorporation of the family and the destruction and the destruction of the original Aboriginal family. And I used myself and everybody that was in the family court with me as examples. You see what I'm saying? So when it came time after I got the degree and all that, and it was like, yo, okay, well, you know, you're gonna go and pass the bar. Like, what? Are you crazy? Pass the bar. You know what I'm saying?
I'm like, are you crazy? To go to the bathroom.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I'll pass the bar, you know, on my way to get a drink, nigga, but that's about it, you know? But again, because, legal, some things that are legal has nothing to do with that which is lawful, you know? And not to beat the Erica thing too much, but also the actual symbol on her in the middle of her chest, the Royal Arc Mason symbol, is called, in Latin, it's called the Crux Hermes. And the funny thing is that the Tau cross is actually a symbol of the penis, right? So essentially, she's got a penis in between her chest, okay? Okay, so that also means that, let's say she doesn't know that she's in that. I'm just using her as an example because she's been one of the latest people out here that act like they don't know that this whole game is infested with demonic entities. So when you create images of yourself and use the symbols of those demonic entities, I don't know what you think is going to happen. Like, they're not going to step to you. You know what I mean? Because you got that's like, you know what I'm saying? That's like if you wearing red all the time and you go into a red neighborhood and niggas don't know you, they going to say, yo, what's up, blood?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, they going to want to know what's the deal. So, you know, let me talk about that. Oh, also, the first fight in the international war between Russia and the United States got popped off this week with the sinking of a South Korean vessel by North Korea.
Mm-hmm.
And funny thing, the thing with that is North Korea is hooked up with Russia, China, South Korea is hooked up with United States, Britain, France, you know what I mean? Israel, kind of, sort of. Whereas North Korea, you know, Kim Jong-il and niggas is down with, you know, the opposite, which is Russia, China, you know, Venezuela, Iran. You did? Mm-hmm. So when this thing really pops, so when they sank this vessel, that was basically, you know, a charge back as to what happened. What happened around the time that was a way for the United States basically to set it off on Russia, which is why your man Barack wound up all out the blue in Afghanistan. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The morning that the shit went down, he wound up in Afghanistan asking everybody in the UN for all of the combatants to, like, cool down and let calmer heads prevail. Mm-hmm. You know?
At the same time, Russia got bombed up. I believe it was yesterday, if I'm not mistaken.
Word?
Yeah, Russia got hit up. Yesterday, early in the morning, some two people blew themselves up.
Oh, yeah, the suicide bomber shit over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I heard about that, yo. That's not good, yo. Because, I mean, the suicide bombers wound up in England. I mean, in, like, Europe and shit like that. It's over. See, you got to really do the knowledge, too. All of these Arab countries, you know, have their beginning around the time of what they call World War, the ending of, like, World War I into World War II. All of them Arabs that today you call Arabs and what they call the Middle East, all of that was Africa up until T.S. Lawrence came, who was Lawrence of Arabia, if anybody's seen that movie. And what they basically did, T.S. Lawrence was the one who invented the word Arab. Mm-hmm. Prior to him being on the planet and adapting that word of art. A word of art is something that describes something, but without using its real name. Like American, that's anybody. You know what I'm saying? So an Arab, or the word Arab, came at a time when the British was looking to solidify their position in Egypt. They didn't want to give it up. And so what was going on was because they was all pushing to find a way into Tibet, the British was going after Afghan. People don't realize, too, that the Afghan, the Khyber Pass, they call that the graveyard of empire, man. People since 650 A.D. been trying to go into that place and lock it down. And all that's left of them is the bones and remains of these niggas. So I don't know what this dude think he's doing over there. Well, we do know, but, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
The people don't. You know. Also, here's another update on the South Atlantic anomaly. Another ship, not a cruise ship, but it was like a freighter ship, disappeared off the coast of Chile, you know, which is where the quake zone was. And also Chile is like right off the coast of, like I said, where this anomaly thing is wrong, because it's getting bigger. So essentially the EMP that this thing is putting out is so massive that it takes people who pass through that area in the South Atlantic, it takes them about 40 to 45 minutes to an hour to get re-assimilated after they pass through it. Like people have talked about how they pass through it on ships and wind up vomiting for like an hour. You know what I'm saying? Because the cosmic radiation is so heavy there that it's bombing in. That's why, again, I think that whole Chilean earthquake and the South American war thing that these niggas is popping, they're trying to find a way to study it, you know what I mean, without letting everybody know that this thing is really popping. Because the bigger this thing gets, the more cosmic radiation is going into the planet, you see what I'm saying? And the more it's raising the vibration on the Kundalini Shakti of the Earth's core, you know? And those of us that are in tune with that naturally feel, I don't know about anybody else, but I don't know, since New Year, not the fake New Year, but like last week, March 21st, 22nd, I've been feeling this anxiousness, like more than I did from before, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like You know when you go to sleep, but then you're not really asleep. You kind of hear what's going on around you.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like that, like a feeling like that almost. You know, people call that in magic. That feeling is called the quickening. For those that don't know.
Like before the first day of school. When you
exactly.
You sleeping, but you not really
exactly. Right before your first job, right before you get on the stage, shit like that, you know. But all of that comes from somewhere, you know. Also, the USDA just put out a thing about organic food. Now, when you see stuff in the grocery store and it says organic, right? Now you got to look, okay, let's say you eat fish and you're looking for, you know, organically raised fish. Don't get no fish that's raised in a farm. Always get wild fish. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And there's certain fish that you can get that has a lower mercury content, you know, for those people that do that. You know, same thing with chicken and stuff like that. If you want to get chicken and all that, make sure you get it, but you get it where the chicken is raised free. Don't get nothing from a farm because the farmers have to inject all of their animals and shit nowadays with this organic version of the bovine virus that's a part of that Codex Alimentarius thing. And the USDA just put out a big thing about it, saying that anything that is grown in a farm can technically be called organic now. Okay? So that means if I grow a person in a farm, that person is organic, even though it's a clone. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's like that old school French movie. What was it called? Like Circus or something like that. When they ran out of it was like, you know, post-apocalyptic and they was eating people.
Oh yeah, yeah. They had another movie like that called Soylent Green with Charlton Heston.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody that movie, look at that movie, Soylent Green. It was all about population control, and Charlton Heston was the poster boy for that shit. Do you know that in the 70s, late 70s, when they were talking about doing Malcolm X movie, Charlton Heston was vying for the part to play Malcolm X?
What?
I didn't tell you that? Yeah. No, I'm dead up.
That nigga was everything.
Yeah. They say, yo, this nigga put on blackface and everything, got the glasses, all that shit, and went and read for the part as Malcolm X. And they was thinking about giving it to him. Until the Muslims called up Universal Studios, said they was gonna bomb the whole shit.
Oh man. Niggas,
yeah.
Niggas,
you know, the bootleg niggas,
Mark Anthony. Niggas every fucking body. Niggas Moses.
Yep.
This nigga gotta be fucking Malcolm.
Moses. Yeah. The best thing about that Planet of the Apes movie is seeing them white people get whipped on by them black apes. Watching them niggas getting locked in them wooden cages and shit. That was the best part of the movie for me. There's another movie y'all can get if y'all want to see white folks enslaved to Moors. There's a movie called The Long Ships. Longships, The Long Ships, with Sidney Poitier and Kirk Douglas. Get that movie. It was all about the Moorish dynasty and how we was enslaving niggas from Ireland and shit off the coast and Circassian and stuff, by the way. There's something else I want to say. They just found the second biggest all-neck ball court where we used to play the ball game, constellation ball game. They found the second biggest one in the Western Hemisphere in Puerto Rico. You know? So again, showing you that the Tamuancan, who they call the Olmec, who they call the Maya, who they call the Washita, who they call the Mound Builders, who they call the ancient Aboriginal Americans, you know, who are, again, Kemites, you know what I'm saying?
Who they now call
niggas. They picking it up. Yep. And now called Negroes according to the census.
Yeah, excuse me.
Which again is only for black people.
Uh-huh.
That census shit is only for black people, yo. Don't get that
I
shit.
think you filling out.
I don't never see that census commercial on no other channel except BET. What's up with that?
Yeah, and it's just like the AIDS commercials.
Yep.
That's only on BET. You'll never see it on
Yep.
MTV, but MTV showing you 16-year-old pregnant girls, all types of
Yep.
crazy Guidos up in Jersey and all that type of stuff, but you only
Yep.
see the AIDS and STD commercials on BET, though.
Exactly. Exactly. And this is my problem, yo. This is my thing, yo. They all be on that shit, yo. And this is the problem, being in situations where we are constantly trying to, what somebody, we are constantly trying to worry about what somebody else thinks about what we're doing or saying, man. It's killing us, yo. It's killing us. See, it was different. It was different when we, as a people, had knowledge of who and what we were and are, you know. So, you know, I can see how the Moors, let's say in Grenada, for instance, could allow Caucasians to live around them like that or whatever, so long as they paid them their bread.
Mm-hmm.
See, and even in getting the Caucasoid chicks in the harem and doing that up, we was the dominant. It still are, but it was more physically dominant back then. We was the dominant shit on the planet from the beginning of time to then. So of course they didn't think that, you know, them interbreeding with these things was gonna, you know, lead to the downfall of the empire. However, it really wasn't the Caucasoid that brought the empire down. It was us. Mm-hmm. You know, it's always us. You know, like I get emails and stuff from different people. You know, sometimes they be Caucasians or whatever. I can tell by how they write what they ask me. But the thing is, they the ones that write me and trying to holler at me. They are like on some other shit. You know, they sound like these niggas on that, you know, malicious shit, which is why a lot of times I don't even respond to them, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't know who these niggas are. But every once in a while, I'll read something and I'll see that there's something within these Caucasoids that they know, they feel that they're coming to an end with this thing. So they are really looking for those original people that don't have no hate to be able to tell them who and what they are without trying to have babies with them. You know what I'm saying? You know? Like, why is it that we get cool with somebody, we got to just let them in on uterus? We got to let them in to show them everything. Like, that's some slave shit.
You got to give them the keys to the garden. Come inside. Come around anytime you want.
Come on, man. We just started seeing naked pictures of some of these white hoes. We just started seeing them. And, you know, they've been home forever, but they always kept their shit on the low. With us, you can't be a black woman and have clothes on a magazine or on TV like that. And not to be taken seriously, which is really crazy. It's like if you wearing your clothes, they're not even looking at you. Like right now, there's a war going on against Anita Baker. Have you heard about this?
A war going on with Anita Baker?
Yeah. Yeah, they're trying to lock her up for 15 years.
Is this the thing with her husband?
Yeah.
Or ex-husband or whatever, because she don't want to give him bread like that? Or something like that? You trying to take her to court?
The ex-husband was the manager. The manager, after they broke up or whatever, she didn't want nothing to do with him. She switched up to management. The manager then signed a deal with these Jews, right? With this Jewish publishing company. And then he told the Jews that he would split the publishing if they could take her to court and get it.
Oh.
So this nigga hooked up with the Jews through Sony or whatever, and now they working out this deal. And if she don't give up the publishing, they talking about locking her up for 15 to 20 years.
Yeah,
Anita Baker, yo.
You know? Since it's hers, and she worked for it.
Come on, man. She write all her own shit. That's her music. That's her. But where's everybody in the black community, the music industry? What's up? Where they at? You know what Anita Baker has done for music, man? And
how
she
many
was the
people
shit
sampled
up
her?
Come on, dude. You know how many times niggas use reference to her in a rap song? You know what I'm saying? This is how I know these niggas be straight homos, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't let a black woman like that just be out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jay, one of these niggas, I ain't going to talk about the usual suspects. Let's talk about the people we don't really talk about. People like Eddie Murphy. People like, you know, Quincy Jones. You know? People like, what's his other name? Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey. Don't even bring that bootleg ass nigga up.
I'm just saying because he'd be the first one to talk about old black soul singers and how I miss soul music and all this other shit. Why don't y'all niggas get together and hook this woman up and collectively pay this nigga off so these Jews can get off her back? They ain't gonna do that.
Of course not. Cause they bitch ass niggas, and he right out here in Brooklyn every day. Cause he broadcast his show. Steve Harvey, he broadcast his show live from the St. John's Rec.
Get out.
Yeah.
Man, they got that nigga budget like that, son. It's like, damn.
They broadcast that nigga from St. John's Rec.
Wow. That is crazy. You see what I'm saying? These niggas steady moving in Brooklyn, steady coming in the hood, not hooking nobody up, not really being cool, acting like they for the people.
I'm speaking to the people that's right up in there and doing the work.
And Tony Braxton, Anita Baker was great, so Tony Braxton took her spot.
Yeah, and stole her whole style.
She just go back after that. Actually got it. Bring it over if you want.
Great. Can you handle it? So that's what I'm saying, G. It's to the point. We got to get this 16 back from this dude. Hold on. 25. You get it back. Put it back to that. We'll work it out. No, this is what I'm saying, G. It's to the point where these things are constantly constantly building up, and when we don't take care of our own, man, somebody take care of them. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. It's just like, dudes putting feds on his head, and then, homie got his own initiations and whatnot, so he got to take that off real quick because he get a clap for that.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But
that's what they do.
So, you know what I'm saying? But you want to do something a little different tonight? You want to go into this joint and then open the phone lines a little bit earlier? Because, I see a lot of...
Yeah, let's do that.
There's a lot of people, all in, and they calling in. A lot of people on the chat room, they want to ask questions and whatnot. So we're going to get into a joint, and when we come back, we're going to open the phone line. So if you want to call in, the number is 347-637-1184. So we're going to get into a joint real quick.
Let's get it on there.
This joint is off of, an EP that I got dropping on the 31st, so for all those that didn't get a chance to check it out or, didn't hear about it from the last couple of shows we had, I got a free EP coming out on the 31st. You can download it for free. If you want a copy, you can, send it to me, and I'm only asking $3, and I'll send you out a physical copy, I like to thank everybody for the support that's been emailing and comments and everything, because, it really lets us know, that, we have people out there supporting us, and, y'all got our backs with all the projects that we've been doing and are doing, just like, Heru Radio. Because I know everybody listening here now be somewhere else, but they chilling with us for 2 hours.
Word, man. I really appreciate that, yo.
Word,
I really appreciate that.
Definitely appreciate that. So we're going to go into this joint. It's called What I Lost. And when we come back, we're going to open up the phone line. So once again, the number is 347-637-1184. So we're going to go into this joint, and then we're going to come back and take your questions and your comments. All right?
That's what's up. Super Heru Radio. Enjoy.
Me, I'm Wayne like Gretzky, skiing on my jet ski, chewing on some Nestle. Yeah, that's a chocolate chick. Yeah, I like them dark, like them round, like them pretty thick. Other people like to put them down. I think them girls is shit. Venus hot inside, back fat, plus she got the top. Been lusting for you since I was a little tight. Moving on my pedal bike, tyke I mean tycoon, bike I mean typhoon. You fixin' a fight, catch your plane, strike gorilla monsoon. Tryna see my people in a position. My brother's not a thug, my sister's not a video vixen. It seems love, that's what my people really been missing. It's like drugs, that's what my people smoking and sniffing. They drinking and sipping. You so quick, they so quick to put a flipping. From what I lost, yeah, now I found. I used to be so overbound, now I know home. Anywhere I step upon the ground, seated on my throne when I put on my nemesis crown. Seated on my throne when I put on the nemesis crown. From what I know, I see it is so hard to be, but that's all I can be. From what I see, from what I know, I see it is so hard to be, but that's all I can be. From what I see, from what I know, I see it is so hard to be, but that's all I can be. From what I see, from what I know, I see it so hard to be, all I can be.
Yeah. And we're back. And I guess it does.
Word.
Real quick word.
That's what's up.
Word.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That was hot.
Thank you. Okay. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna open up the phone lines once again. 637. Excuse me. Yeah, 637-1184-347. So we're gonna go to the phone lines, I guess, first. And yeah. First caller, 708.
Yo, peace, brothers.
Heru Radio. Peace.
It's Brother Wise so real, man. Your brother's doing a beautiful job, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask both y'all brothers, what Brother Ducateers and Brother Saga, what's your email addresses?
Okay. Saga, you want to give them yours first?
Okay. Mine is saga.asad, SAGA.ASAD @gmail.com.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And then I'm House, HOUSE, OFEL @hotmail.com.
Yeah. I had one more question. What's a good source to? I was really interested, man, when you was talking about that whole Napoleon thing a couple weeks back, man. I wanted to do some more research into that. Like, what's a good source to study about? Would you say it was a part of the Garibaldi family or something like that?
Okay, his Corsican, yeah. He grew up on an island called Corsica that to this day has a jet black man on the flag, and he comes from an old family, the oldest monarchy in so-called Europe, which goes back to the Holy Roman Empire, which allegedly descended directly from Europa and the Queen. The Queen Europa, and that you'll find, you see her all the time, but they don't call her that. What she is you ever see this picture of this little stone statue called the Venus of Willendorf or the Hottentot? If you type in the image of the Venus of Willendorf, that Venus of Willendorf little figurine they show you is what is actually Europa. That's why they used to worship her like that. Anyway, Napoleon grew up on the island of Corsica, and because he descends from Moors, and again, Moors ruled that island up until not too long ago, actually. Book-wise, though, you can get to look into that. There's a book you can get called The Wars in Barbary by a guy named Chidsey, Chitsey, called The Wars in Barbary. There's another book you could get called The Gilded Prince.
The Gilded Prince.
Yeah, The Gilded Prince. There's another book you could get called Any of the Sex and Race volumes, volume 1, 2, and 3 by J.A. Rogers.
Oh, yeah, that brother's ill.
Yeah, he's excellent. There's another book you could get called The Pirate Picture by some white man named Rainer Thrower. Right? Rainer Thrower. What's up?
I got a question to my brothers. How do you feel about Obama being in the office?
About being in what? President of the United States?
Yes. And how do you feel about the health care bill going through? Is it positive, negative?
The healthcare thing is totally negative. On page 425 of that thing, right? Page 425, they talking about provisions for if you or if a child, let's say if you abort, let's say if you have a child and that child is sick within a 5-year health span, you have to go to mandatory counseling, right? Where you or your child is sick. You got to go to mandatory counseling. So they give you a 5-year block. If you're sick more than once in this 5-year block, you have to go to this mandatory counseling session where they counsel you on how to kill yourself. They counsel you on how to not eat. They counsel you on how to stop intaking fluids. They counsel you on how not to take substance into your body. Essentially, if you look at this health care bill and you study what went down in Germany, you know what I'm saying, around the same time, you know, that they decided to what they did to the Reichstag, you'll see that this bill basically is the same bill. It's not even really changed like that. It's more like, see, the thing with this guy is we as black people, we too emotional about certain things. And we think because it's like, you know how they have the ugly-dugly syndrome where, let's say, if you have a guy or a girl who feel that they're not attractive, and then the minute one person gives them any degree of attention, they just, like, vomit and just give this person everything, and then the person winds up dissing them because they're too needy. Mm-hmm. This is black people in general. This is how we are in general. We think because we got this one so-called black president, you know, that everything is different and that he was going to do something. Well, I would ask you this, brother. Have you seen anything change in your life or in anybody else's life in the country, specifically black people, since he's been in?
No, but it takes time. You know, it takes time. I think that Bush and his father messed up a lot of things. It takes time, but I don't see anything progressing.
Right. But we do understand, or at least this guy has alluded to the fact that Bush is his actually blood family. Mm-hmm. So I don't really know. Like, you ever have beef with a guy, right? And then, like you don't be speaking to him no more, but then, like, he got a brother you still cool with. You speak to the brother, you don't really speak to him. This is allegedly the relationship that they have, but I don't really see how that can happen when, again, these guys got to be in the same type of places. Yeah. They are literally family. So, again, family do what family do. I'm just saying, as an original black man, right, what he meant to us symbolically was dope because it showed that we had already reached a certain degree of ascension, that we don't have to, you know, be at the back of the bus or feel like we're any less than what we are, because we as original people place so much emphasis on the American government, right? But the American government is satanic. So all this nigga did was step into a satanic situation, which means that what? You got to be the devil. You can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, the angel Michael ain't going to go to hell to rule in God's name. You know what I mean? He's going to leave hell to hell. So if this guy is in there and he's doing what he got to do, you know, it's pretty much it. So I don't really feel any way about it. My thing was just more to, again, show the difference between what him occupying that office meant to us or for us as a people symbolically, you know, and then show what he has to do to maintain that position physically, you know. So thank you for calling, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah, peace.
Thank you, brother. Peace.
Peace. Peace. Peace. Peace.
646-363. Yo, Super Heru Radio. Peace.
Peace. I guess they just listen.
Maybe you might have some difficulties. 909. Yo, Super Heru Radio. Peace.
Hey, what's up? Peace. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Peace. I can hear you, brother.
All right. Thanks. Peace to the gods, man. I just have
Peace,
a quick question for y'all, man. I'm watching the whole rap game and whatnot, and I was just curious as you guys' stance on Jay Electronica. When I listen to him, I get a lot of positive energy. I just want to see how y'all feel about that.
I've met the brother. Prior to him coming out, when he was in his nomad phase, when on his nomadic phase or whatever, the people who was around him or whatever, you know, he didn't really have no place to sleep or nothing. So my godbrother, Supernova Slum, big up Supernova Slum, my god, yeah, and he used to let him sleep on the couch and shit. You know what I'm saying? He used to let him really just, you know, be around. And then, from what I also understand, he was also under the tutelage of Ali Muhammad, right? I don't know if you understand, right? So I know that he has like a certain degree of Nation of Islam influence and all of that. But to tell you the truth, when I seen the whole thing go down with Puffy, it kind of made me look a little, at his brother a little different. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't really fuck with that. But but then when he did, but then on top of that, when he took the same stage and threw it into the crowd like that, I thought that was mad disrespectful. You know, so that's just my opinion. You know, I don't know. I haven't, even in the times that I have dealt with him, I never like really went there with him because he didn't really seem like, I don't know. It's just certain people you vibe with, certain people you don't. The brother seemed very cool. He never, me personally, is just, you know.
Right.
He's a Virgo, you know what I mean? He's a Virgo male, you know, and Virgo males sometimes have a lot to deal with.
Now, and another just quick question. I was noticing you mentioned the Diddy aspect. Now, when I was looking at Adam on Twitter, and he was talking about, because when he got a lot of flack from a lot of brothers, like a lot of the more science brothers, a lot from everywhere. Just on that Diddy situation, you know.
Everybody knows he's the devil.
Right.
Mark Curry told you that.
Right. And so he got a. When I seen that, I was like, ooh, like, you know. And he was saying on Twitter, he was like, you know, you cats are sending me this stuff. You know, I love Puff, and I feel like, you know, you guys got to let him grow. He's a black man, you know. So I was just curious about that. And I appreciate what you're doing, man. I saw you do that interview with Morris Brooklyn brother. I can't think of his name. He's on YouTube.
Yeah, Morris Brooklyn.
And that's what caught me and started to get me listening. When you broke down about the Indians and whatnot, that kind of blew me away. When I seen you with the feathers, I'm like, hold on. So I appreciate what you're doing, man, and I'm gonna keep listening to both of y'all, man. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, brother.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you for calling.
No problem.
Yeah, I ain't like the way he threw that fez. I ain't like the way he threw that fez in the crowd.
I thought that was corny, son. I thought that was mad corny. But again, this is the same brother that will let his queen, his baby mother, walk out in the street, butt-ass naked with her ass out. So, you know what I'm saying? What?
All right. 877. You're rocking with Super Heru Radio. Peace.
Peace.
Calling from the Virgin Islands again, brothers.
Oh, peace.
Hey, what's up, brother? Hey,
Peace.
what's up,
Everything
man?
is good. You got alliances all over on this island over here, man. You guys are doing a great job. Thanks for what you're doing on a weekly basis.
What island? Where you at in the Virgin Islands?
On the island of St. Croix.
St. Croix. Big up to St. Croix, man.
Big up St. Croix.
Well, I got some family out there. You know, big up to St. Croix, man. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, man. Big ups, man. We all won.
Yep.
My question tonight for you guys is, I just got my census envelope, and I know you've been talking a lot about it before, about what it's designed for, or whatever the purpose is. But I noticed on the envelope, I guess they're trying to bluff you into doing it by putting in a square box, your response is required by law. Now, is that a bluff?
Oh,
or
yeah.
is there
Yeah. With the census.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a bluff, or do they have a real law that they can cite for that?
Look at it like this. Whose law, right? And how do they enforce that? The only way that they could force you not sending it to you is by sending you a follow-up letter saying that you didn't send something to them. And then if they do that, then again, they take it. See, people, when they talk about, like, free speech and shit like that, they don't apply in the realms that it's supposed to be applied to. That whole census form has nothing to do with governmental money allotted to people based on how many people's in the area. These beasts do not give a damn about how many people's in any area. When have you ever seen any of these beasts give money to anything in your hood, my hood, Saga's hood, anybody's hood that's listening? Never. Never.
Right. And if they do, they always drag their foot on it.
Exactly.
Son, they haven't rebuilt Watts yet. You understand what I'm saying? Watts is still in ruins, son. This parts of Philly. These niggas blew up a whole city block in Philly, right? Bombed it with F-16s to get rid of the so-called move brothers and sisters that was out there. They still ain't built that block up yet.
Yeah, that Black Panther movement, right? I saw that.
Yeah, G. These niggas in Detroit has nothing. Yeah, look at Detroit. Look at Brooklyn, son. This part of Brooklyn that looks like the roots, son. Look at the right now. So again, obviously that means that the census has to be about something else. When you read the Bible, right? You read the Bible before. You know the story. Right. When Jesus was going to Bethlehem, why did they go to Bethlehem? Because there was a census that was being taken, right? And they had to go into Bethlehem so that way they could be counted, so their district could be counted, right? And when he went into Bethlehem, that's when Herod, right? Herod represents the government, or let's say the
powers that be, right?
The powers that be, or worse, let's say in 5% lore, right? That's Yakub, the nurses, the beast, and the cremator, right? So essentially, Herod, or people who come in the name of Herod, are those people who are coming to sacrifice the firstborn of Kemet. That's us. See what I'm saying? That's why a lot of us, when we have babies, before our actual baby comes, a lot of us will have babies that miscarry around the 6th month, because that's all 4 to 6 months. That's part of the so-called curse of the firstborn of Kemet, right? So really, the census has nothing to do with that. What the census really is, matter of fact, those people that got a law dictionary, go to a Black's Law Dictionary, look up the word census and see what it tells you. But for those people that ain't got one, what the census, or this census really is really about you declaring what type of entity you are. Because again, this census is only being marketed to black people because they know black people don't fill out shit like this. But in order for them, right? But in order for them to appease whatever entities and things that they fucking with, they gotta know how many black people think they're Negroes, how many black people think they African Americans, how many black people think they Moors, how many black people think they Washington, how many black people think, you see what I'm saying? So really the census is whatever you want yourself to be. You see what I'm saying? But in that, it's a way for them to gather information on you again about what we call ourselves now.
Mm-hmm.
So if 80% of the people start calling themselves Moors, then what you would start to see is in the TV and shit, you would see a whole lot of shit about Moorish shit in it. Because remember, they got to get everything popping before the 2012 thing. They need to look like they in a certain realm. So they're trying to big us up on a down low to make us look a certain way. So when our celestial forefathers or whoever show up, we can stand up and say, no, these white people was okay. That's what Obama's there for. So the census is just really just another means for them to figure out what new technology or what new terminology we calling ourselves and shit, and how many people
what's the mindset
and shit. So if you do fill it out, right, and it has some race and all of that, you know, write Washington, write Moore, write don't write nothing. You know,
because I'm just thinking about flushing it down the toilet. I mean, right now, because I just wanted to know legally, you know, when they come to my door and say, well, why didn't I fill it out? I could just say, get off my property. That's it.
You ain't got to do that. The way that my homeboy did it, I know him more. Who got it in the mail, right? He wrote he accepted the whole shit for value and mailed it back to shit. Right? Didn't fill out nothing. He just accepted the whole shit for value and sent it back to them.
Okay.
What they going to do? Because, see, really, it's only lawful, as I'm talking to you, I'm looking at Stevie Wonder singing Part-Time Lover, and he's in a pyramid. Fuck should be going on. Anyway, when they step to you and they ask you, right, technically the only people that are under the penalty of whatever comes from that document are those people who consider themselves U.S. citizens anyway. You see what I'm saying? So if you have a whole nother celestial nationality and a whole nother thing, then that really don't apply to you. The people in Puerto Rico ain't got no census.
They don't?
What's up with that? Nah.
Nope. I didn't know that.
Nah.
I did not know that.
Nah, they ain't talking about that, though. Because the Puerto Rican island is used as it's a commonwealth, but what that really means is that they use that place to be able to launder money and shit like that. They actually have a back thing called the backdoor Puerto Rico office where these niggas be flipping all their bonds and laundering their money through.
That's why people driving like Mercedes-Benz and BMWs over there and all kind of shit like that. And I'm like, I thought they were like in a deficit over there.
Yeah. Because again, you see, the Puerto Rican, they can't be claimed as United States citizens, because then they would have legitimacy as to all of the, you know, they would have to then take VAK. Remember when they was bombing VAK?
Right, the Navy. Yeah.
Because what they're trying to do with Spanish people, they're trying to turn Spanish people into the new white people, so they'll be the ones to hold to be the new crops and uphold white supremacy after they go. So they'll be the new niggas to hold us down. That's why they keep talking about how they're going to be the new majority in America and all those.
Daddy Yankee.
But guess what? Spanish people are black. How about that? Spanish people come from black or more.
That's true.
All of them.
That's true.
So
that is true.
You know. So thanks for calling, my brother. So yeah,
I appreciate it, man. Say again?
I said thanks for calling, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Have a good night.
You too, bro. You too, King. Peace.
Peace.
See how we as black people, we always worry. It's like we always are in a situation where, damn, it seems like everything in our lives leads to jail. You know what I'm saying? How is it that everything that we build on, we don't make, it's like we got to think about jail in our everyday life. So it's not supposed to be like that. White folks don't think about that.
Nah, not at all. Even when they're doing
something wrong. Especially when they're doing crimes.
Yeah. Dave Chappelle bust that down you when he was like, yo, you know, you just ran a stoplight. He said, oh, I didn't know I couldn't do that. You know what I mean? That's how it be. And people laughing, you know, just like the brother said. He said, if you go tell someone the truth, you know what I'm saying, make them laugh or they might kill you.
That's right. After a while.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
After a while, yeah.
So.
And he's the first person in history to be tried as a homosexual, black closet homosexual. So what's up with that?
Got a lot more people calling in. What you got? My problem with you? Wait. Okay. We got 708. No. 314.
Peace.
Peace.
Yeah, I don't want to ask a question. Building on Michael Jackson, that album cover with the children pointing to the spaceship, the UFOs are currently being seen around Cleveland, and also
the Moonwalker.
Exactly, Ezekiel's wheel, and Elijah Muhammad's baby planes and other shit.
Well, I'm sorry, what was your question exactly?
I almost tied them together. What's the science on that?
Okay. The whole Moonwalker thing, where he became a robot at the end. If you look at a lot of Michael Jackson's videos after Thriller, you'll see that he's always being chased by people in black. Like if you look at the video with Biggie Smalls, the Hypnotized videos, people chasing him in black. If you look at the Victory video that came after that, after Biggie was dead, it's always. Whenever you see niggas chasing niggas in black like that, see niggas got it reversed. They think that if the government, like rappers, make it like they feel important when the feds and the police is investigating them. You understand what I'm saying? Like they think that makes them look like G's, like they important kind of. It's another way to get attention from the slave master. You know what I'm saying? So Mike, when he was doing his thing, he was privy to a lot of their long range plans. Because see, people don't know when you get down with that whole shit, they send you like newsletters and all types of shit where rituals is gonna be and who's gonna get sacrificed and all that type of stuff, right? So Mike started to incorporate a lot of that stuff in his videos and stuff because his whole thing was allegedly about saving the children. So the spaceship that he turned into was basically the mothership, right? Symbolic of the mothership that's there to bring the children back to the new earth. So Mike basically was trying to portray himself as the actual vehicle to do that. Wow. I did a tape called Dark Plasma Synthesis, and in the lecture, I went in specifically on that more in depth. So if you want to see that any further, you could holler at me and get back to you.
Does the energy you said is approaching the Earth at this particular point have any relationship to do with the planes that's seen over like Cleveland and like Russia and all that?
Yeah, Sigmund Freud, Bernays, Nietzsche, Malthus, Thomas Hobbes, the Calvinists, Thaddeus Stevens, Washington Irving. Matter of fact, Washington Irving wrote a book on the Moors. You should get it. I forget what it's called. It might be called The Golden Passport. I'm not sure, but there's a book that he did specifically on the Moors when he went to Alhambra, and he went in on how the original Moors was all black and how the white supremacists in America is killing the Moors over here. It's deep. But all of those guys make up the demon that runs what we call, lay the groundwork for the thought patterns of what we are living in right now, which is an outmoded form of white supremacy that has now evolved into satanic corporate demonic possession. So I hope I answered.
It's like my father's Caucasian, my mother is indigenous African, but it's like I see things differently than most people. Like my perception as far as this whole love sick relationship between brothers and white women, let's say, and my queen, my wife is indigenous, so it's like it's a constant struggle that what I see and my sister see as well. Like a thick relationship between black men and white women, vice versa on either side. It's the self-hatred. Even within my own family, it's like wow, you can't even see. It's either you can really be in love with someone or really be in like an infatuation, like some kind of a figure in the zoo.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's difficult to put my finger on it, but I don't think I see things as regular people do. You know what I'm saying? Especially as far as the language. Because growing up, you know, if it was a black person, they say a black person. It was white. If it was a regular individual, they would say, oh, some guy. You know what I'm saying? I would point things out when people couldn't really see that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like,
well, no, because you're not a amalgamist. You're not an integrationist. You're not a globalist. You're not a multiculturalist. See, all of those are words that basically mean black, so-called black people who are really Moors, who are really Kemites, who are really everything else. We are bred to be overly accommodating to people that we believed owned us at one time in our history. But that small time in our history that these entities did that happened, you know what I'm saying, and it's in a physical way, right? But now that the physical thing is gone, the mental thing has been going on longer. So you represent, let's say, the 1%, let's say the 2% within the 5% that see what's really going on. See? So because you understand that the beast is using amalgamation as a means of warfare and mind control, you see, and is using love and breaking down racial barriers as the cover story for that. You see what I'm saying? You know, and this Kool-Aid.
Exactly, and I feel it to myself more than anything, and I question, like, why do I believe this way? And there's another organization called the NCCJ, the National Coalition of Christians and Jews, changed the name to Community Injustice. But basically, the whole synopsis was that white people, you know what I'm saying, basically have white supremacy, and until they willing to change, we have to just deal with the shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
Exactly.
Right.
And I was the camp for many years. It was just like, you know, accept all this homophobia. Oh, you know, you supposed to accept everyone's way. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't until I got some lessons, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, wow, you know what I'm saying? I'm studying the more science teachings and Muhammad Muhammad is just like, you know, it's just like, damn, it's like I was really a slave, you know what I'm saying? I really fell for it. Like, you know, I'm, you know, multicultural.
We all did at one point, man. We all do. That's part of the ritual. That's part of the ritual of physical life at this period. Yet, physical life, if verbal communication doesn't even only represents 1.5% of all communication, that means that really talking is really the lowest form of communication. Therefore, anything that you build, like if you ever see two babies, like let's say you got a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old and they're not really talking, watch them talk to each other without talking. They talk to each other almost with telepathy. You see what I'm saying? By hand gestures and movements and shit. You see what I'm saying? So again, if that's what it is, and we understand that this language that we're speaking has been doctored to take out all of the true spirituality in what we're speaking, that means that when you reverse that thinking, you are now speaking their so-called English, right? But it's coming out with a certain degree of spirituality that most people don't have in their speech. So naturally, you're going to appear different and more challenging, you see, to everything else because, again, you're not drinking the Kool-Aid, you know. Like, you know that there's a person that was called Jim Jones that killed all of these people. If you ask the average kid today who Jim Jones is, they're going to tell you, oh, that's the nigga around with Cameron. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? Jim Jones knows that he named himself after this white man that killed all these people.
Mm-hmm.
And then what does he do? He comes out with a liquor.
Mm-hmm.
That's red like Kool-Aid. Yep, scissor. That's red like Kool-Aid. You see, symbolically giving the people the same poise. So, thanks for calling, my brother.
No, peace, guys.
Peace.
Peace. 678. Super Heru Radio. Peace.
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 Hold on, no boy.
Peace.
I got a quick question, man. With all the chaos that's going on now, I'm hearing that there are some more. I know you brothers pretty steeped in their jurisprudence. There's some Moors trying to expatriate. Are y'all familiar with that? It's brothers from the Aboriginal Hudson too, and I was trying to get a little more insight. I know you brothers are kind of steeped in that jurisprudence also. I just want another opinion of that.
Right.
And
yeah, I did hear about that. I heard about. I've heard that it's actually been done a couple of times, you know. But what it is the process in doing it is where you will either succeed or come right back under the jurisdiction. Why? Because it's not about proving that you are, let's say, sovereign or a secured party or a beneficial owner or anything like that. It never was about proving that to anybody. What you have to show, right, is that it's not about you proving that you're the sovereign. It's about you showing them that you are not the debtor. You see what I'm saying? It's about you showing them that you're not the slave. So if you're saying that you are no longer a part of the so-called United States Corporation, right, and you have already made a delineation in that, in, let's say, a public notice or something like that, or for some people, they feel they do it by filing the UCC, right, then you have already, so long as you follow the protocol with that, you've already shown that you are not the debtor, number one, and then two, that you are not part of what's going on. So then if you then, on top of that, let's say, go back in the jurisdiction and then fill out one of their forms that says that you are now expatriating yourself from it. You see, you basically put yourself back in the jurisdiction to say that you're not in it. You understand?
Yeah, because from what I was hearing with them, they were saying that the only way to become a sovereign, because they were saying there's a lot of Moors out here that's still a U.S. citizens, they still 14th Amendment citizens, because under that commercial law, because they have not dissolved the contracts, or their contracts they have not expatriated to become a true sovereign. You know what I'm saying? So I was trying to get at the thing, because they were saying that's the only real way that you can become a true Moor sovereign is to expatriate, and then come under another government. I guess either that government or whoever. You know what I'm saying? But,
right. That's kind of like Moors. That's kind of like I heard Moors. A couple Moors was trying to flip like some dual citizenship, trying to become part of another so-called country. The only problem with that is the country that they was doing was just as bankrupt as this one. You know what I'm saying? But that's them. But I can see the truth in that. Yet with everything else, to me, it would be about the application, when you would file that and when you would do that. Like, to me, if you're gonna do it, you would have to do that right at the same time that once you receive your, confirmation number, let's say, after you file public notice and let them know that you're not a part of the government, parcel, whatever. After you do all of that, then you could put an expat form that you create yourself. You see what I'm saying? And put that in with your other paperwork that you would, let's say, file in the county, so that way there's a record that you've done it. And because you got a notary on it, you know what I'm saying? That's has to be recognized. But as to going and getting one of their actual government forms, you know what I'm saying, and filling that out is a problem. See, the biggest problem to me with the whole, or why we can't seem to get it all together as more juristically, is because we don't practice a custom called ex mora, or ex more, which means according to custom, right? We all have different customs. So because all of our customs are different, we lost the binding factor. So we all got a piece, right? But when the Patriots in the 80s brought the whole UCC thing into it, it flipped the whole thing up. And then the aftermath of that was those Moors who believed that UCC gives you sovereignty and cashback and chargeback and all that stuff is what it's about. And then you have the other strict nationalists that are about the opposite, just like you have the Democrats and the Republicans, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's the same, we in the same system, but we don't have a thing. But because we don't have one specific acumen that we all want to do, so that way it sets precedent that it's all been done like that. And then once we all do that, then we can do everything we're going to do individually, because we all have a standard basis of what we want to do knowledge to. That used to be the law of Ma'at, that they, as it was called in Kemet. Over here it was called the great law of Gaianashqua. You know what I mean? So we don't practice that no more. You dig? So, I mean, we can't even get past us. We can't get past the black thing still. You see what I'm saying?
True.
So, to me, if anybody's going to be sovereign, we got to first sovereignly figure out how we're going to deal with that. You know, because there's a lot of Muslims real hung up in that, and those little hang-ups is what's holding up the whole show.
Right. That's what I feel, too.
No.
Same way, man. Same way. And one more quick comment, man. What is going on with the sister, man, Erykah Badu, man, in this video? I'm like, man.
She, again, according to the symbol on her chest, to me, first of all, she's doing the video in Philly Plaza, okay, where they shot your man at. So that's a ritual within itself. Mm-hmm. Second of all, she gets shot in the video, right? So that's, again, Erykah Badu now getting shot in Philly Plaza, which is then putting her on the level of what, JFK? Symbolically, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
Or any of these other musical musicians that go through that ritual where they kill themselves to then be reborn as the entity, whatever entity that is. Some people is Rain Man, some people is Young, some people is Young D, some people is Lil, some people is Liberty. You see what I'm saying? These are all entities. So what it said to me when I saw it, again, with all of that being said, is that, one, she was symbolically, ritualistically killing herself because she's entering into a 33rd degree as an Eastern Star or whatever order. And again, she may not even be an actual participant, meaning like a person who goes to ritual meetings or lodge meetings as an Eastern Star, none of that. She may not even have to be doing that. Symbolically, though, in the fraternal order of the music industry, you know what I'm saying, whose executive producer is Lucifer, right? She has ritualistically put herself in the means to receive the light. So that means, again, as her being killed, when we saw her walk to us at the end of the video with the braids now, right? That's her. Again, the braids represent a veil, something fake, because that's not her hair. The person that got shot was the real person because she didn't have no fake hair or nothing. She was totally naked, totally natural, and she got body. And then the person who emerged from that, again, was veiled up in these Rick James dreads that could symbolically seen as the tentacles of Medusa in a negative sense, you see. And then because now she's graduated and become to that 32nd degree, she now becomes the Royal Arch. The arch represents the gateway, you see. She's a black woman, so she represents the gateway into this reality of consciousness, right? So, you know, also, when a person reaches that degree, they place the arch, the symbol that's in the middle of her chest, on the forehead, which is also a symbol of Mercury, Virgo, and Gemini. So we're dealing with duality here, which is the material realm. So in a nutshell, though, because she is on the cover of the album as a robot, you see what I'm saying, as a shell, that means that, again, she knows that something is inhabiting her. Because there's another picture of her where she's got the Kabbalah letters written on her. And she's got one of them on her face. The one on her face is he. The one on her right shoulder is house. And then the one on her left shoulder is door. Or window. Window. You see? So what is she saying? She's saying his window, I am his window. You see? Or I am his house. Because the symbol on her chest is representative of a penis. So whose penis is it? You see? It ain't Kennedy's because he's dead. But again, it could be because she's ritualistically putting herself in the same situation. Not to mention she came out of a white car. Remember we talked about the whole white van shit. Mm-hmm. You gotta look out for them shit.
All right. Well, thank you, brother.
So in essence, we're watching the spiritual deterioration. And she has evolution written on her back.
Yeah, I saw that.
Saw that? But again, evolution or evolve, right, is another entity. There's an entity named Evolver, and then there's another entity named Revolver. T-Pain's new album is called Revolver. John Legend's new album is called Evolver. You see what I'm saying? She's got Evolve on her back, but evolving is not ascending. We have passed the level of evolving. We are now ascending now. Whatever she was going to evolve into was killed. You see what I'm saying? And then what came to us at the end of the video, all blurry with the veil on, with those tentacles in her face, that was the new entity now emerging. You see? Not to mention, again, she is there's a type of witch in certain covens called mother goddesses, and what they do is some of them get sacrificed, but then other ones are used as hosts to hold the vessels of certain men to procure children from them to add to the bloodline or take away from the bloodline in some way. That's why all stars, when they grow up, you want to see her babies going to hook up with, Beyonce's babies, and this, you see what I'm saying? That's how they maintain, because it's the same thing throughout time. It hasn't changed. So she is just showing that she has chosen the side that she's on. My thing, though, as somebody who knows her, is do you know what you've done to yourself?
Right.
Because if you do, then that means I can't fuck with you in a certain way. But if you don't, then there's still hope for you. You see what I'm saying? But the only way we're going to know is if you come to a lecture, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying, too. These niggas don't be in no lectures. These dudes don't be coming to the hood. These dudes ain't buying DVDs. They ain't getting no DVDs from me. And if they are, they ain't even be talking to nobody about it. So Valentine, Bobby Hemmings, Brother Daoud, Double Blair, they've been out here for years on this. Mm-hmm. So they got to know, just like we know, we come from the same area, same hood.
That's right.
But what about us that chose this, and what about them that chose that? Mm-hmm. That is the difference between evolution and ascension. So yeah, man. So basically, she just going crazy like the rest of them. She a Pisces. And, all of that Piscean energy is going to play out.
Pisces, man, it's crazy. Yeah, definitely. But I appreciate that, man. Yeah, you definitely should come up and do it in Atlanta, man. I'm in Atlanta, so, yeah.
Hey, man, if y'all want to get us out, there, you got my email,
Okay.
If you got it, it's houseofel@hotmail.com.
Okay.
And we'll be out there, man. We'll work it out.
Okay, brother.
Anybody that want to holler. All right, my brother.
All right.
Peace.
All right. Getting down to the last 10 minutes. I'll say maybe 1 or 2 more calls after that. We wrap it up.
Cool, man.
All right.
Last caller get a free DVD.
Right. Okay, so we got 304. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yo.
Peace.
Hey, what's up, brothers? Peace, brothers. Glad to talk to the Kings, man.
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Calling in from West Virginia. Everything, man. Everything. I just want to get you guys to touch on Mars. And if you can, let me get that free DVD. But if not, it's okay. I'm from West Virginia. My father's from Brooklyn. And Dr. Aseer, man, you really a doctor to me. I'm in school with you, brother. I tune in to something on YouTube, anything I can from you, every day, every second of my life. My name's Gabriel Jamar Leggett. I'm 27, and you my elder, and I'm just glad I can't believe I got through, man.
Well, send me an email, man. Send me an email, and then I'll definitely get something out to you. Okay, it's at House of L, HOUSCOFEL @hotmail.com. In terms of you asked about Mars, right?
Right. I want to know about Mars and the relationship down here, and just anything that you can go into that. Just briefly, because I want y'all to go into something else too. But I want to know about that. That's something on my heart.
The Martian, all that Moors are on Mars. Moors and Mars are the same word. And Moors and Mars are symbolic of Aries, and Aries is symbolic of being first. So that's the sign of the ram. That's also Canum in Kemet. So I'm saying all that to say that the energy of Mars is red, just like the Moorish flag is red. Just like the DNA is red, and all of that energy is symbolic of a time in our history that we occupied both worlds, But when what happened with the destruction of Marduk, and all of that energy coming over here, we evolved and ascended into the capacity we are now. But there are still original black people up there. Matter of fact, anybody come to the lecture, the Dark Plasma Synthesis lecture we're going to do in Brooklyn, tends to be May 1st, May 2nd, stay tuned. I'm going to have pictures of actual people, black people on Mars that are being killed by those Mars rovers they got up there. They're killing them and taking the body parts. I mean like black people. I mean like people look black on Mars, pictures of them from NASA. I'm going to show you later. My queen is bugging on. I'm going to show you the pictures I got of them later. I got one of them sitting on a rock chilling, looking at the sunrise. Like, oh, shit. Looks like Jamal. But yeah, thanks, brother. Hit me with that email.
Yes, sir. You said like Jamar?
No, I was making a joke. I say the picture of this Martian I got sitting on this ridge looks like this a brother I know. This dude I know named Jamal.
Okay,
But,
and for everybody listening,
pictures and stuff at the lecture, so if you can't come through.
I will, man. I'm gonna have to get up there. I still got a lot of family up there, and for everybody listening in, man, this guy's everything, man. Y'all gotta listen in all the time and do everything and just follow the brother. And I'm getting every CD that he's ever put out, and my brother Asad on the line. And thanks for taking the call. Peace, brothers.
No problem. Thank you. Peace, brother. Thank you, brother. That's what's up.
All right, we're gonna take one more call and then wrap everything up and say our goodbyes until next week.
Cool.
We got 313 back on Super Heru Radio. Peace. Peace.
Peace. You try one more, I get down up.
Okay. So we're going to go to 305.
Hello.
Super Heru Radio. Peace.
Hey, what's going on, brothers? I was going to be able to ask a question I wanted to, but let me ask this real quick. Since y'all both hip-hop heads, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I was, I'm into, hip-hop and shit like that. The new artists that we got now right now, they had this joint, South by Southwest. Seeing little YouTube videos and new artists and things like that. And I be watching the old school documentary joints. And what I noticed, and with all these artists, it's always some type of Jewish, so-called, quote-unquote Jewish, foundational, financial, or they roll with their crew type shit.
Yeah, it's a rough job.
You know what I'm saying? Like, these Jewish dudes always seem to, find these dudes, the nice dudes, back them somehow, always hang with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, how that's possible? You know what I'm saying? Like, they got a radar. Like, even back in the day, I was watching a DJ documentary, and the Jewish dude was, so hyped about, seeing Marley Marl and things like that. And then now I see some Jewish dudes hanging out with Currency, all these other young dudes. It's like, how the hell they find these dudes? You know what I'm saying? It's interesting, because I know y'all both, OGs in the hip-hop game.
You 100% correct on that, though, brother.
It's it's interesting though. I'm gonna get your take on that though.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. It's because the B'nai B'rith runs the music industry. They work in tandem with the corporations, and these rappers, all rappers after NWA, are all corporate agents.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you are on a major label.
Mm-hmm.
But MCs, dudes that make records, that's something different. The Jewish thing has to be there because the Jews, they use the Jews the same way we used to use the Jews on them. We used to use the Jews to get slaves and ransom them for us. That's what the Jews, that's what the regular Freemason Caucasians use the Jews for with us.
Mm-hmm.
See?
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, the Jews that you see around these brothers are basically parasites that these brothers allow to feed on them. So these brothers, because these brothers think that they're going to be able to use these people or let them use them to get them to the point where they're going to be self-sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
But again, these brothers, most brothers that's rapping don't read.
Nope.
So that's why their lyrics be so stunted. You see what I'm saying? They don't read nothing. So they can only rhyme about shit that they already heard some other nigga rhyme about. And that brings them to the attention of a Jew like Leo Cohen, who's looking for a new rapper or something to reinvigorate his failing record label. And then this is where you get Ja Rule from. You know what I'm saying? He was watching a box one night, and because Irv Gotti was playing, bought
I know that story.
Ja Rule's record, sold more right. So this is the same story. So we don't really need them to do it, but niggas, these niggas, you can't tell them that because the first thing they're going to say is, oh, you in that black and white shit, and these niggas, you ain't going to get no money. You see what I'm saying? Because these niggas are scared to do anything without white people.
But you know what I know? Because me being like, I'm down here in Miami, right? But I noticed, though, is like more melanated individuals, they more finance, more the party-going type shit. You know what I'm saying? They're not
exactly. They don't want to do no conscious shit.
You know what I'm saying? Artistic type stuff. Even me down here, like, you know what I'm saying? I can't find no brothers who be selling the DVDs and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, I'm in Miami. Holla at me. Holla at me, son. I'm in Miami right now.
Oh, okay. Yes, I heard you say that. You be in Miami and stuff, but I don't see no lectures. You know what I'm saying? Nobody. It's just one little, you know what I'm saying, peoples I know that be doing things, but, you know what I'm saying?
I did one out here just recently, but holla at me, though. You know what I'm saying? So we do that. I'd love to deal with you, but, I want to say peace to the people and everything. So look at houseofl@hotmail.com or Sagastar.
Okay. And when y'all put your music on the internet, man, let a brother know. I'll download that joint real quick, drop a little something in there, too, you feel me? On the PayPal joint.
No doubt.
I appreciate that, brother.
Word. Thank you, brother. Thank you for the support.
All right, man. Y'all have a good one, though.
You too, King.
All right.
Peace. Anybody that ever want to download any of the Birth record, y'all can go to iTunes. Anybody that want to get my brother's joint, you got shit on iTunes too, right?
Yeah, you can get it on iTunes. Okay. You can check out my Bandcamp, aseer.bandcamp.com. You can get it there as well. And also my blog, sagassadali.blogspot.com is there as well. And you want to look out for the 44 dropping this Wednesday on the 31st. And on that note, I'm personally going to say thank you. Thank you, my brother, for, hosting the show with me. You know what I'm saying? Everything that you've done and been doing. And I want to say thank you to all the listeners, once again, for coming down and supporting. This is greatly appreciated. Hope to see everybody again next week and more.
Word.
And
everybody, thank you for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. Anytime anybody feel like they need to send, feel the spirit and they want to send a donation to a brother, y'all can do that. It really helps. Big up to Dakota sister. Listener. You know who you are, Dakota. Also, big up to Jennifer Jones, Dakota Webster. That's her name. Thank you for that donation. We really appreciate it because it helps buy books and DVDs and tapes and stuff so we can get out to the people. Also, big up to Jennifer Jones. I wanted to get into what you asked us to talk about through the email, but we're going to get into that more so next week, too. Again, yo, I really appreciate everybody that comes in. You are now leaving Super Heru Radio. Be well, be safe. Aseer, let's do it again next week, homie.
Yep. Peace.
Peace.